All right, we're back. Well, for most of you listening to this would be your very first time listening to this podcast. This is the Hype Sense podcast, and it, of course, is your boy, Carl Borillo. The last time I filmed an episode for this was 4 years ago. Jesus God. In that time, I became known as the Hype Disney, the Hype Sense. Honestly, the name of this podcast, The Hype Sense, or I guess like The Hype in general, was kind of where that all started. But we're here, we're back. I don't know why I wanted to do this again, but we're doing it. I kind of want to lock in on doing the podcast because I kind of have like that creative flow one more time. Yeah. For those who know me personally, I tend to have like this creative like span of just like pushing shit out, and the next thing you know, it's all gone down the drain. I just stop posting and shit. But you know, we're here. We're gonna try and see how this works. For those who don't know, which again will be all of you, what this podcast is about, the Hype Sense, it's all about streetwear. It's all about sneakers. At one point, we did an episode about tech. I am gonna touch on that. Normally in this podcast as well, I also have hosts with me, or co-hosts with me. During the time in COVID, it was Jared, one of my good friends, Brian, another one of my homies, and Mateo. I think for the time being, you might be seeing a lot of me and Mateo, or hearing a lot of me and Mateo. Typically, there is a video element, but just for the sake of when I'm recording this, it's like 10 o'clock at night. We're going to get started. So yeah, a little backstory again about the podcast. It's mainly catered towards sneakers and streetwear, some tech. I kind of want to touch on that too. I kind of want to get this out before it comes out. But next Tuesday, September 9th, Apple is set to unveil the iPhone 17 lineup. Among other things, I heard AirPods Pro 3, but anyways, the main draw, of course, is the iPhone 17. There's going to be 5 models. I mean, if you count like the bigger counterparts of each one, without that, technically 3 models. But anyways, you're going to have the iPhone 17, the base model of the collection, the 17 Plus, I think they're calling it the Plus again, the 17 Pro, and then the 17 Pro Max. But I would assume the people who are excited for this particular model in general, for those watching on YouTube, I'll put it up with the visuals on the screen. The iPhone 17 Air. Now, if you follow Apple, you'll know that the thinnest product on the market currently is the iPad Pro. That thing is prone to bending just as bad as it was like the 6 back in the day. Like around 2013. I forget when that phone came out, 2014. But yeah, the iPhone 17 Air, it's set to be the thinnest Apple product, or the thinnest iPhone ever made. But for sure, the thinnest Apple product for sure. I'm going to see what the keynote is all about come September 9th, which is next Tuesday. At the time of recording this. But yeah, I mean, iPhone 17, let me know in the comments if you guys are going to want to pre-order that or upgrade to the 17, whether it's the base model, the Air, the Pro, the Pro Max. I, for one, I'm going to upgrade to it. I'm going to upgrade to the 17 Pro Max, just because it's a radically different design, as you guys can see on the visuals. It's going to have like that long, like glass pane on the back. Kind of looks like a Pixel, but also not. But it's kind of weird how like the design languages kind of they flip flop back and forth with each other. Like now, like Apple is trying to make a phone that's similar to the Pixel. But that's another story for another time. Going into sneakers, it's been the year of the retro again. I mean, it's been the year of the Jordan retro. Up until now, it's September. We had a lot of grails come out. Again, the word grail is subjective to each and every single person who is listening, or to anyone who's in the sneaker game. Like for me personally, I'm gonna list off a few grails that I was able to get my hands on this year. Most recently, the Shattered Backboard Jordan 1 came back. Now, I've never had the opportunity of like holding the original 2015 pair, so I can't really attest to the leather quality of it. I have seen reviews of the newer version, which is the current 2025 version, and a lot of people were saying that the leather just isn't the same as 2015. Now, I don't know because I've never held it in my hand, but for what it is, it's still pretty good. It's pretty solid. I will say, this might be a hot take. The leather quality, at least like in the mid panel and like the toe box, it feels like the taxis that came out, I think last year. I forget when those goddamn yellow taxi Jordan 1s came out. But the leather quality is similar to that, I feel like. But it's still pretty solid. I mean, it does feel a little thicker compared to the yellow taxis. But this is pretty good. So that's one of the grails I was able to cop this year. Another one, the Kobe 8 What Does. Grail Kobe for me. Probably top 3. Later this year, I think relatively soon, the Moonwalker Kobe 9 Elite Low is coming out. I remember being a kid and seeing, when they first started doing like the Elite Lows, where it wasn't like the EM version, it was like the Flyknit version. And you had like the Beethovens, the Moonwalkers, the red pair, all pairs that I wanted. Obviously, I was a kid. I was like, 13 years old, and I was able to get the original Kobe 9 EM colorway, the Bruce Lee colorway. I had to work as a scorekeeper for a bowling tournament, and throughout like the entire time I was doing that, I was given tips and all of that. I saved all the tip money, went to Foot Locker like the following day, and was able to secure that, which was insane. And I still have it. I'll put a picture of it in just a sec. It's definitely not the same yellow as it was when I purchased it, but to have a shoe that's 10 years old in the collection is nice. You can never go wrong with that. But yeah, the Kobe 8, absolutely insane colorway of Kobe's. A lot of people's Kobe grails. For sure, it's mine. Wanted to double up on it, but I'll just keep the one. Speaking of Kobe's, not necessarily a grail, but another pickup this year was like the team colors that they did. I got the Lakers away colorway. Still need the Lakers home one. That's like the white one with like the Laker colorways on it. And the Kobe 6 All-Star 2.0, that was another grail. Just in general, the Kobe 6 is a grail to me. The Grinches, the reverse Grinches. I wanted the Italy's or the Venices, I think. I forget the name of the colorway. But Kobe 6 was one of the grail models that I wanted growing up. My first sneaker ever was the Kobe 5, the Laker colorway. I forget which one it is, but I'll put it up on the screen. And later on, during my middle school days, my mom actually found a pair of Kobe 7s at Ross. That was a different time when you could go into Ross and you can find Kobe's at Ross. It was insane. But yeah, so those are the Kobe pickups this year. White Cement 4s. Grail Jordan 4 for me. Grail Jordan in general for me. Relatively easy cob, I'm not going to lie. 89 shape. Shout out to the Nike SB4. Really, really good shoe. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. It's a white cement Jordan 4. It's like the Jordan 4. When you think Jordan 4, especially for the OG heads, it's either black cement or white cement. Sure, people will say off-white, Nigel's now. the brick by bricks, which I need a pair of those. Honestly, I need a pair. But like the quintessential Jordan 4 for sure is the white cement, at least to me. Black cement. I did have like the bread Jordan 4 back in 2019, but I don't know why I got rid of those. To be honest, I don't know why. Years later, obviously, last year, the reimagined 4s came out with all leather. I prefer it, but I wish I had the 2019 bread. Speaking of breads, the Bread 85 Jordan 1 High. What? If you were to tell me, I don't know, during COVID, let's say, when I was like fleshing these episodes out, that they were going to re-release a Bread 85, let alone the 85 cut, right? Because they could do a Bread Jordan 1. The last time they did it was 2016. They could have done it and kept it with like the Lost and Found shape. They probably would have done a reimagined twist on it, similar to the Lost and Founds. But for it to be probably like the best 85 cut Jordan 1 that Nike has ever done, back during COVID, I had the natural gray 85 1 highs. Got rid of those. They just turned yellow. The tongue turned yellow. The soles turned yellow. They didn't age really well, so I did definitely need to get another pair of those. But yeah, that's like a grail, especially for people who wear Jordan 1s like religiously. That shoe, you had to have it. But for some reason, though, it was very difficult to get. For some reason, they made it a limited release. I could have seen this being as far as like same quantities as like the black and white ones or like the Georgetowns when they were doing like those 85 cuts. But these in particular are different to those just because like the tooling is different, the shape is different. It's more true to the 85. From what I read on Nike sneakers, that they had 3D scanned like an original 85 pair. So that's how they got like the patterns on the midsole, the overall shape, especially the toe box and the toe rand. They got it right. Never held an 85 pair in hand, but I have the second closest thing in the 2025 version. That was earlier this year. What other shoes did I pick up this year? Union Jordan 1s. The Union Jordan 1 Chicago Shadow bricked. I'm surprised they bricked. Way more of a wider release compared to the Storm Blue and the Black Toe back in 2017. But retail hit on those. Shout out to my homie Gio for plugging me up with those. The raffle process was smooth and cool. Good release. But for some reason, I haven't really worn them as much. Don't know why. I need to wear them more. Sleeper hit, UNC Reimagines. I have not worn those. I've only ever worn those probably twice. Don't know why. I'm just not really feeling how it looks. I get the reimagined aspect. It's similar to the Lost and Found. But on the UNC, at least in person, it doesn't really translate well, in my opinion. Like, the sole was too yellow for me. And the way that the leather cracking pattern looks on the upper... they I don't know what happened in between the Lost and Found and the UNCs, because like the leather panels that are the UNC color, it's shit. The quality is shit. And yeah, they're just sitting in the closet. Haven't really worn them since. It was really weird. But probably my biggest grail pickup this year so far has got to be the undefeated Jordan 4. You guys all know the story. For those who don't, back in 2005, Jordan Brand was heavy on, maintaining like their high status as far as like they're untouchable. No one can collaborate with them. And prior to that, Undefeated had done collabs with Nike, not necessarily Jordan Brand. So in 2005, as it's being told, James Bond, Eddie Jones, Chris Gibbs, all Undefeated, Tinker Hatfield, Mark Parker, they all pull up to the Undefeated store in La Brea. ended up making samples. First one wasn't even the color that is now, the Undefeated Jordan 4. The inspiration at the time was Blackberries. For the younger generation, Blackberries were like the first quote-unquote smartphone for the time before the iPhone. But anyways, that blue, the shade of blue, now they neither confirmed nor denied that sample that they made the first time ended up being the M&M 4. They never confirmed if they like had any part in it, but that's what it ended up being. First drop back in 2005, 72 pairs. Majority of it went to friends and family and employees, and the rest were raffled off. As it's told on the Undefeated website for the mini doc series, you had to purchase a shirt, and with the shirt you were given a ticket, and you would check the website and see if you hit on the website. Those were raffle pairs, and then of course the auction pairs, which at the time auction pairs were going for $2,000 to $3,000, which was unheard of back in 2005, but nowadays that's pretty common. The OG pair goes for about $45,000. The green, inspired by the MA1 military jacket that they had released back in the day. Grail shoe. I've probably worn it a handful of times, probably 3 times, because I just don't want to. I don't want to like ruin any aspect of the shoe. You know what I mean? Like, the shoes are meant to be worn. Don't get me wrong. But for me, like, that's in like the entire time in my like life of being a sneakerhead. Like, this is honestly why I wanted to make the podcast again, because this year has just been the year of like what once was unobtainable became easily accessible. Now, for the sake of the Undefeated, if you really think about it, with the amount of raffles that they were doing, these were widely available. I just didn't hit on any, so I had to pay resale, unfortunately. But just the rollout of the release just seemed widely available. But, you know, just think about it. Like, 2025, you had the Wu-Tangs come back, and for some reason they bricked. Undefeateds sitting at around $350, $400, depending on the size. You would honestly think that they would be reselling for more, but they're not. They're at a reasonable price for what it is. The landscape has also changed too. You know, back in 2017, Jordan 1s were the hits. You know, you had the Fragments, the Off-White Chicago. 2018, Travis Scott, and Travis Scott dominated, you know, from 2018 up until, I forget when the Phantoms came out, the all-black Travis lows. But that was the market. That was where the culture was. Coming soon, you know, you had Virgil with Off-White 4. Travis Scott did the Travis Scott 4 back in 2018, I think. Early 2018. 2017, probably. And then here comes the Nike SB4. And that just changed the game. That gave us the white cements. It gave us the navy pair, the green pair. It gave us the Undefeateds with the updated shape. It gave us the brick by bricks, which again I still need. And the brick by bricks are hitting better than the Undefeateds right now. Same with the Awake Jordan 5s, which was the release right after that. Those are hitting better than the Undefeateds right now too, which is weird because if you think about it, at least in my mind, I was assuming that, you know, the Undefeated 4 would just be like a high hitter. Same with the Shattered Backboards, because the Shattered Backboards came out the same time as the Undefeated 4s, and both, you know, were very, very sought after 10 years ago. And I guess with Undefeated for the past 20 years. And next thing you know, Undefeateds at a reasonable resale price, and the Shattered Backboards are sitting at stores, which for a lot of people, that's the dream, right? Especially back, you know, 2017, 2018, like the argument was people wanted Jordan 1 sitting again. Because you had GR colorways selling out, like the Turbo Greens, Hyper Royals, I think, Pine Greens, Court Purples, just like the random colors, you know, just like selling out. I remember during COVID, the biohacks, like those were hitting too. And like the Zoom, like the full length Zoom Jordan 1s too, those were hitting too. But you had like the not for resale joints, you had the first Union joints. But now the landscape has changed again, and it's weird because 2025, with it being the year of the unobtainable being attainable, to the grails and the OGs being more accessible, which is weird. And that kind of segue in, and that segue me, and that kind of transitions me into my next point. I'm going to be reading off a few blogs here on Sneaker News. A very popular Jordan 4 coming out again. I mean, you've seen a lot of early pairs of this, but the Cavestone Jordan 4 coming out soon. The Poor Man's Travis Scott Friends and Family. Now, alluding back to 2005, when Undefeated did their collab, they weren't allowed to use the Nike Air just because they wanted to keep it with the legacy colorways. So, like, white cement 4s, black cement 4s. Come 2025, from then until now, colorways like the Off-White 4s use Nike Air. You have the Nike SB 4s use Nike Air. The new Undefeated 4s using Nike Air instead of the Jumpman on the heel and on the outsole. But with these Cavestones, not a collab, not an OG colorway, and yet they're using the Nike Air. And for me, aside from the colorway alone, I need it. Run me that. Retail price of $220, set to come out. By the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be released. But set to come out tomorrow, September 6th. Should be readily available. I mean, people were reselling this thing like early. I mean, let's see what the resale price is, because I have no idea. Under retail. Yeah, buy now price under retail. Crazy. This was a widely available shoe from what I'm seeing. But yeah, Cavestone 4 clean. You can't go wrong, especially if you miss out on the Undefeateds. This is a good alternative, not necessarily saying it's the best alternative, but it's still pretty good. The shade of brown, it's nice. Again, Poor Man Travis Scott Friends and Family 4. I definitely need it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are going to cop or already have the Cavestone Jordan 4. And just to run by you guys some other sneaker release dates for Jordan Brand in particular. On September 9th, you have the Jordan 1 High Light Matter Root and Sail. Just looking on the pictures alone, I'm not even going to lie, the leather quality looks better on these than they do on the Shatter backboards. Clean color, you have Sail mid panels, Sail laces, Sail tongue, Sail midsole. And on the images, at least, it does look like a black color, but the official colorway is Baroque Brown, Light Matter Root, and Sail. I'm assuming the Matter Root is the hint of pink on the tongue tag. But these are clean. I'm gonna want to need this. I'm gonna want this. Then a few days after that, September 13th, another Jordan 5. Jordan 5s have been hitting recently with the black metallic. Soon to be the Tokyo 5s. And now coming out soon, and also the Awake Jordan 5s. The Fire Red 5s are coming back. Updated shape, updated everything. These are a must cop for me. $215 retail price. Cop. Because when the black metallics came out, I was surprised that those were hitting. And that's another thing too. I mean, that's probably the only exception as far as like OG colorways hitting on the resale market. Because the white cement 4s doing okay. Black cement 4, the reimagined ones were meh. Both white cement reimagined 3s, black cement reimagined 3s, or just black cement 3 doing okay. But the black metallics were hitting though. So I don't expect these to fall under that aspect of it. I think these will hit probably the same, probably a little more. But we'll see come September 13th. And this one's a cool one. September 20th, it's the Air Jordan 3 Mexico. I don't remember the official name of it, but it is inspired by the Lucha Libre culture in Mexico. September 20th, $230 retail price. The details on this are actually crazy. You have hints of like design languages used in Libre masks and stuff. Clean colorway. My homie Daniel really wants this, so hopefully he's able to cop that. And also on September 20th, we're doing this again. The Travis Scott and Fragment Jordan 1 Low. Travis Scott and Fragment collabing again to come out with another release. This one's more of sort of the reverse version of it, where the majority of the shoe is all that sail white, sail midsole, blue swoosh, same blue Wings logo on the heel, I believe. The tongue is relatively the same. And the outsole, same Fragment blue. I still prefer the OG colorway over this, but once I see in-hand pictures, I might change my mind. But if it does follow the trend that Travis Scott is following, where the reverse color is better, like think of it like this, like you had the OG mocha lows come out, and then the reverse mochas, and those were hitting, as far as popularity goes, better than the OG mochas. But we'll see about those. And on the 27th, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Tokyo 23 Jordan 5s. For those who are really in the sneaker game, you'll notice that the particular version coming out in later this month has the yellow toe on the outsole, which was alluding to the sample version of the same shoe. The retail version at the time had the white toe with the outsole. $230 retail price. From what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be exclusive to Tokyo, just like the original release. But Sneaker News says it's also in the US, so we'll see. And just for generic sneaker releases here, for those who still buy Bape Adidas, they're doing a Bape and Adidas Samba, supposed to come out tomorrow, September 6th. Retail price $160. Should be relatively easy to cop. Typical Bape Star logo, similar on the Bapestas. Samba Tong, not the regular Samba Tong, but the actual indoor football Samba Tong. Should be cool. Another release of the Vans Old School 36 Souvenirs for September 7th. Really popular pair of Vans right now. $125 retail. And that's on September 7th. This one right here, the Kobe 9 Moonwalker, said to be releasing on September 10th, but I think they kind of pushed it back to October, I believe. Retail price $220 sounds about right for a pair of Kobe 9 Elite Lows. Double up. I need to double up on those 100%. But by far, I think my most shocking release that they're actually doing is the Yu-Gi-Oh! And Nike Air Max 95. This is in collaboration with Nike's subsidiary brand .swoosh, where they took the actual colorways of the Air Max 95s that they used in the manga and the show and bring it to life. You have two colorways. First one is, it's like a bluish colorway. It's, color code is white, wolf gray, dark smoke, gray, and cool gray. September 12th, releasing for a retail price of $210. The blue pair is exclusive to the US, and the one that I think is better, the gray pair, the muscle pair, set to release again on the same day, September 12th, only exclusive in Japan at the House of Duel. It's like a pop-up that they have out there in Japan. Retail price $210. And I think this version of it, which is exclusive again only to the House of Duel place in Japan, it comes with I think a manga, and a special Yu-Gi-Oh card, which is fucking insane. I don't really wear 95s, but I would wear that one, like, no doubt. And not confirmed, but on September 13th, which this whole collaboration, I'll be so honest, was a complete shocker to me. The Tom Sachs and Nike Mars Yard 3.0 is set to release on September 13th for a retail price of $275. As you know, years back when the GPS came out, or the general purpose shoe was released, there were some accusations against Tom Sachs, and Nike sort of suspended their collaboration together. Sort of like at the peak of the general purpose shoes hype. But they're back with the Mars Yard 3.0. Obviously, it looks similar to the 2.0 with added elements. I think that black toe, the mud guard is new, and like this sort of gum sole, kind of like heel counter here on the back is also new. And they kind of reinforced the sole a little bit with like this sail, sort of like gum yellow outsole. Looks pretty cool. I prefer the 2.0, if I'm being honest, just because it looks cleaner, looks sleeker, and that's the quintessential Mars Yard in my opinion. But yeah, those are just some of the releases that I wanted to highlight here on the pod. I guess for September. But yeah, more podcast episodes to come. Just thought I'd give it a try and see how everything sounds, and if you guys enjoy it, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about, whether it's sneakers, streetwear, tech, sports. You know, I do also want to touch into topics that I haven't touched on 4 years ago, and I want to lock in on this because I have that itch, that creative itch to just pump things out, whether it's podcasts, whether it's reels on Instagram, vlogs, sneaker reviews. I still need to film sneaker reviews, but I just thought I'd do this first and see how everything sounds and see where you guys are at. If you guys enjoy it, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Borillo. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for listening to the revival of the Hype Sense podcast.